Hello and welcome from Dave M0 OGY. Hope you're all doing well. In this video we're taking a look at the new Albrecht AE 5900. This is a mini multi-norm transceiver, but it does include single sideband. Now, for many years since testing and reviewing radios, most of the comments say, well, I'd buy it if it had single sideband. Well, this one has. There's a number of small mini micro type CBs with single sideband coming out. If you remember, around 4 months ago I tested the Aquario RP70. That was the first. Then there's this Albrecht, which looks a cracking little radio, and there is the sister radio coming out from Anytone called the AT5000. That's coming in the future. Now I do believe that the Albrecht is for the European market, and the Anytone is probably more aimed towards the US market, but I'm not sure yet until it appears. So that's the three, and then finally, of course, the new small President Jack. So never been such a decent time for CB radios. So moving on to this brand. Well, Albrecht, they're a German brand. It's part of the Allen Group, which is Midland. So they've been making transceivers for many years. I've only really looked at one of them around 10 years ago, back in 2016, and that was the a small AM/FM radio, which I really did enjoy, and I think at the time actually I said it was the radio of the year then. So they're a well-known brand, certainly in mainland Europe, probably not quite as much in the UK. So the new Albrecht AE 5900, well, this is what I'll let you know a few specs and then we'll have a look round it in the usual way. So it's a multi-norm, multi-mode radio that has CW, AM, FM and single sideband. As it comes out of the box, it's a totally legal multi-norm radio which does 4 watts AM, 4 watts FM and 12 watts PEP single sideband. On the microphone, which you can see to your left, there is a programmable button. In the middle you've got the up and down keys, and the programmable button you can program. You can either put it into mute, your mode, Vox, the emergency channels, the auto squelch, dual watch, the CT, CSS, DCS codes, tones or scan, so you can program that button to what you wish. It's very handy to use the microphone, as I found it a little bit fiddly on the buttons. Certainly if you was mobile you'd want to use the microphone. Yeah, it does have a repeater function. It's got built-in noise reduction on both receive and transmitters. Nearly every radio does these days. And it does have built-in SWR protection. Some of the functions: it has 2 emergency channels, programmable, echo, high cut filter, noise blanker, busy channel lockout, so if you've got a channel you don't want to listen to, you can lock that one out, PA, auto squelch, Vox, as I mentioned, CT, CSS and DCS codes, dual watch. It's got voltage display, which is quite small. On the top of the screen you can see what it's reading. I can sort of just see it's reading 12.4 volts from my trusty old Bremy power supply that I use for tests. It's got DSP noise reduction, the key tones. Now wow, when I turn this radio on I had to turn the key beeps off. It is variable in volume, but it really could wake the dead. It's really loud, so you really won't be turning them off unless you like that sort of thing. It's got scan facility, mic gain, the selectable mic there's 2 positions of that. So basically on your selectable mic you've got electric condenser type, which it comes with, or dynamic mic, so you can set that in the menus. But also, if you use the optional microphone, which I don't sadly have as it's not available yet, the one you're seeing is a stock one. The optional is a multifunction microphone with many buttons, and it's coming available soon, which I will hopefully show you in a future video. And you can actually, you have to go into the menus and alter it to whatever that type of mic, so don't get baffled by that. So talkback, 33 levels of talkback, so you've got talkback facility. Timeout timer, so if you're a bit of a rag chewer you can set that to turn it off. Voltage reading clarifier, obviously for the single sideband aspect of the radio. It's got 5 levels on a dimmer, Roger beep. So that's some of your functions. The size of the radio, now then, it's not as small as the Aquario RP70 I tested. It's not massively larger, but it is larger. The size is 165mm by 122mm by 35mm high. The microphone socket on your front, on your left, it's the RJ45 type. It's got the multifunction, right, so just moving along now. So the optional microphone is going to be known as the AMM, that's Alpha Mike 500, and that'll be available soon. The price of the radio is currently, well, when it's launched, is going to be €199, and the optional microphone will be €39.90 as it states on the Albrecht website. I will leave a link to the Albrecht website also in the description below. So we'll have a look around the radio in a moment and move on and see what it entails. So the box, it does come in quite a nice box. I did note it's got the black painted mounting bracket on your right, a bag of fixtures and fixings, the main transceiver unit, the microphone, DTMF type with the the telephone type socket. And one thing I did note, probably more so than any radio in recent years, is the handbook, as you can see there. Very thick, it's well written. Obviously the home market is Germany, so that's the first language, but it's also produced in English, French and Italian, and it's a really well written handbook, so well done for that. So that's what comes in it. One thing I did note, it does have the hardwired power lead with single fuse. So we'll have a look at the radio. It is a multi-norm radio out of the box. There is a modification. The modification entails taking the bottom cover off. Now it does have an Albrecht warranty label, so you do so at your own risk, and obviously you will lose your warranty. But on modification, which requires moving a jumper, it's once you move the jumper it does give you additional higher power output, but still remains the multi-norms including the UK FM. There is another modification. There's 2 pinpoints behind there that go across at a 45-degree angle. You add a wire in there and that opens it up, and you have to go in the menus to open it up. Once it is opened up, it will operate between 24.715 MHz and 30.105 MHz with a maximum output of around 30 watts. So obviously once it's opened up, it's not type proof for CB radio use. It can be used on the amateur radio band, so maybe an option for the ham band, as it does have CW, repeater shifts, etc. So but again, as I say, you do so at your own risk. I'm keeping this one standard, I think. I'm not going inside it on this occasion, which is very not me. Anyway, so we'll have a look at the front panel first. Right, so moving from left to right, we've got the on off button at the top. You've got the RJ45 microphone socket. Each one of these buttons obviously does dual modes, dual function, should I say, not modes. So you got mode C DCS there. You've got auto squelch, that sets your squelch. Emergency, that's your 2 channels, for emergency mode. So you can, I don't know if you can see that. There you go, channel 19. So if you want to go on a calling frequency, and there you go. I've got it set on channel 38, lower sideband, the US calling frequency. So quite easy to go between if that's what you want to do. Got up and down channel keys so that it doesn't have a rotary encoder as such. Easier to use the microphone. You've got Vox. These are all dual function, as you can see at the bottom. Your function button, so you press that in to get into the functions. It says, I'll do that in a moment. There you go. Clarifier, look, we've gone into the clarifier mode now, so it's moving across in steps. So there you go. So that's the front panel. It does look a lot, if you remember an Anytone AM/FM radio from 10 years ago. It's very much like that in design. It uses the same fascia and the same casings, but obviously it's totally different inside, different screen, etc. So it does use, look like that. The Apollo 2, if you remember the Apollo 2. Again, I tested that around 10 years ago, back in 2016. Well, this is sort of uses the same, it looks a lot like that radio, which is still a current radio, I think. So there you go. So we'll get into the functions in a moment and I'll show you that. Right, so this is with the radio turned off. This is the date set, from the factory. So it needs the time setting and also the date. So to turn the radio on, simply press that button. The mic lights up, as you can't actually see it, but there you go, you get a welcome, let's say an Albrecht on it, and then it turns on. So yeah, to get in your functions, top right hand button, just goes through everything. Device information, so that'll tell you it's version 1.1, I would assume. There you go. E5900 version 1.1. There you go. So we'll be back in a moment, show you a few more. Now there you go. So when it's opened up, when you add the wire, you adjust it on here. So it's in CB mode now, so if it was opened up you can go back into HF mode. You don't gear along neither, so there you go. There's quite a lot of functions in the menus. Device information. What we got? Yeah, so you've got 1 to, what's that, 1 to 6. Where you want to be, and then press into there. So that's your functions. So you've got the key beep off, first thing to do honestly. Microphone gain, mic type, obviously it comes with an electric condenser type, so you can move it over to dynamic. Echo volume and delay, timeout timer, so you can adjust it how long you want to talk before it turns itself off. SWR warning, that wants to be a bit lower, doesn't it? 20 to 1, it's long gone before then. Scan type, dimmer, so you've got 5 levels, so you can turn it down if you're mobile. Dual watch settings, so you can set your dual watch, it's set on 19. Emergency channels, so you can set your 2 channels, 9 and 19. Obviously it's not really channel 9's not really a worldwide emergency channel this day and age. and then it soon shuts its end down, like, doesn't it? Key beep, yeah, we're going back through it again, aren't we? Obviously. Dimmer, dual watch settings, yeah, there we was. Auto squelch settings, so you can set where your auto squelch drops in. Vox settings, that's for your voice activated microphone if you're mobile. Vox sensitivity, delay time, RX noise reduction off and on. It's got that TX next. Single sideband TX audio, so it's on wide. You can alter that even. That's good. That's really good. So that's your CW. So if you was on 10 meters more, so you can adjust the CW beep and everything. CW frequency. This is all to do with CW, Morse code in the old days. S-meter response, so you can adjust your S-meter speed. That's handy for single sideband. Talkback. Voltage protection, so that's if you're actually set that, so basically if it overvolts, your power supply goes wrong. That's the worst thing, you ain't got long. You probably can adjust that, to be honest, as well. You can probably adjust the speed of it turning off. So that's it. So yeah, you've got sort of 6 levels on that menu, haven't you? And then that's your the top ones to go into your functions. So there you have it. So we'll have a bit better look around the radio now and see what it's all about on the back panel. Right, so we're looking at the rear panel of the Albrecht AE 5900. So it's quite a heavy cast aluminium chassis with built-in heatsink. You've just got the standard antenna socket there, hardwired power lead. I'm not too fond of those, to be fair, but that's what it comes with. You've got a 3.5mm jack plug. Now I'm assuming pretty much, obviously it'll do the extension speaker, which I would say is pretty much a must with such a small built-in speaker, but it will do the additional, I'm guessing, the CW and also the PA facility. I'll have to read the handbook a little bit more. It's only just come yesterday, so I've not done much with this radio as yet. But that's the rear panel, so not really much to see, and I'll just show you a few shots of me holding it next. Well, that's the transceiver sort of size next to my hand. On your top right hand corner you've got the Albrecht logo and sort of the serial number. Actually says batch number, I think it says on there, doesn't it? But yeah, that's basically the size of it. You've got a small speaker in the bottom. That's how you get into the radio. It just has a little cover on the bottom with 4 Torx style bolts. But as I said earlier in the video, it does have a warranty sticker there, so if you want to open it up, you do so at your own risk. This is the microphone that comes with it. You've got 3 buttons on the top, got up and down channel keys. The centre button is programmable, PTT on your left. Yeah, it's okay, robust, it feels nice in the hand. Fairly long mic cord with the RJ45 connector into the radio, so that's the microphone. I showed the menus a little earlier in the video, so we'll just see what the front buttons functions are like. So you obviously got the top mode button, so if you want to set your squelch, comes up on the screen. so you can adjust that. Emergency channels, dead easy, so the bottom left hand button, press the emergency channels, it goes to 9. Then if you move back on the channels you can go back, turn that off. 19, so you've got your 2 emergency channels, press it once more and it will go back to where you were set. Yeah, but you don't really want to be using the radio front. Oh, that's where it was set on, with channel 38 lower sideband. So that's your, your 3 buttons on that side. They're your up and down channel keys. I won't press Vox because there's no antenna plugged in here at the moment, so we don't want to cause any damage to it. So that's it. So it's pretty straightforward. You just, again, as most modern radios, you got to read the manual. But there you go. So that's it. Firstly, thank you for joining me on my first look at the new Albrecht AE 5900. The transceiver is becoming available within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I guess, in mainland Europe. They're coming air freight and then obviously via ship for the later versions. This is one of a number of early radios. I do believe there was either 12 or 15. And if if you care to look on the internet, there is actually, I've seen 3 different people with them other than myself, and funnily enough each one in a different country, so they are out there, and there is some other reviews on the internet about them, but I'm pleased to have got this one for sure. So yeah, final thoughts. Certainly a nice, robust, well made radio. I've still to test it yet on air. That's obviously the proof's in the pudding, and what we really need to do is some good on air tests, as I always do with my friends, so we will do that hopefully next week. So thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. Best 73 from Dave, M0 OGY 26 Alpha Tango 025. Bye bye.